It's nice to see that blue, crystal blue water once again. Betty Fernando still looks perfectly intact and no, poison hazardous or anything like that. So, hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Blossom here once again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, and same applies by the forms of the Powerpuff Girls members out there. Well, for those of you ever watching this, actually. So, yeah, welcome back to more Let's Play of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, in this, to be more specifically, the new Super Luigi U mode. So, for the Nintendo Switch, of course. So, last time we actually did completely done with everything in Layer Cake Desert, and as you can see, I've managed to able to complete only one level in the forms of in Layer Cake Desert, and that was the forms of Layer Cake Desert 3, in the forms of any kind of character except Nappets, just because, well, I just feel like trying to do that. See, Fernando, today for this episode, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that we are about to be getting things started with the forms of World 3, in the forms of sparkling waters, because I said this before countless amount of times ever since and yesterday, that I've decided able to go through sparkling waters first, and then Frosted Glacier afterwards. See, Fernando, because I've managed to get done Frosted Glacier first, and then sparkling waters after that, in the forms of in the new Super Mario Bros. U mode. So I thought to myself I might as well able to do the opposite, so here we are now. See, Fernando, from the start though, for this level anyway, we're about to be able to actually just take control of Nappet on the first level in this video, which is kind of strange, but even then though, that's only because of, again, just showing off every single characters with any kind of level out there. See, even then though, like, for instance, we're gonna have to, you know, still keep on switching over between those, multitude of playable characters and all that stuff, but even then though, you get the solutions about this point. See, even then though, yeah. And of course, you cannot even forget about that star coin just from here, so, but as long as you know where it is, then, you should be able to notice by that at this point in time, so... Sorry about that. Yeah, today was actually forms of the 22nd of January in 2019. Almost say 2018 for some reason, because the problem with that is the fact that I keep on used to it being 2018, but we're no longer in 2018 anymore. So naturally, we're still on 2019, so I need to get used to this though, still. But even then, it's been 22 days for now, new forms of in 2019 so far. So naturally, we're almost nearly towards the end of the first month of the year. Well, at least to be more specifically in January, until we move on to February. See, Fernando, that could mean so much of it. By the way, another thing that's one pointing out right away is the fact that, recently about the fact that, well, I was really hoping that Nintendo Directs will be up and during this week, but it turns out we actually got it, but unfortunately though, it wasn't my kind of thing, I have to be honest with you. Although, I might be a little bit interested, but still, I'm not exactly a huge collector when it comes to indie games and stuff like that. Well, I do own several of indie games and what have you, like, for instance, I've managed to go myself, actually, it's not a whole lot that I can think about, because even then, I haven't really brought that much in terms of the indie games to begin with, because even then, or it gets until tomorrow anyway. I think that's what the date is actually going to be confirmed for, and that will have to be by the forms of the indie highlights. Even then, though, that's only because, well, we haven't got to that indie games or what have you showcase and all that stuff for quite some time, at least ever since, well, you know, I'm just a little bit too much of a nitpicky at this point, because I could have wished that there was actually more to it, other than, you know, the indie games and stuff like that, which is fine, but I kind of wish if the Nintendo games will be on there, like, for instance, by the forms of, you know, in several Nintendo Directs and what have you. See, Nintendo stuff like, you know, the Piranha Plants DLC's final release date, which is expecting to be released until February, which it happens the same problem I had with the forms of last year, that in the forms of the Luigi's Bloom World release date, I was expecting that will be released on, you know, in sometime in February, but out of nowhere, it did happen during it out of nowhere, so yeah, it will be kind of a nitpicky at this point, but even then, I believe that could be also the same applies by the forms of, Donkey Kong Adventure on a DLC pack for Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle for the Switch as well, but they did somehow able to actually delay the actual pack in the forms of in last year in June, so even end up for perfect timing for the E3 2018 presentation. So I guess that usually helps out throughout, but even then though, we'll never know until whenever we get to the point there, which, if I remember this correctly though, I really can't guarantee there won't be any directs for the time being in January, because we've already just got the ND highlights and all that stuff, which is fine all by itself, but I kind of wish there's more to it, because either way, as I was expecting, there's going to be some more information on upcoming titles by the forms of in 2019, but I'm pretty sure we've already known that, at least ever since at the very beginning of the year so far. Like, you know, both release dates for both Yoshi's Crafted World, and especially notable with, you know, Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn and stuff like that for that nature, but at least that's as far as we can consider this, so... As you can see, we're actually going to be exploring through, you know, for this particular tower level, and there's that 1 star coin that it does need to require it if you need to able to become bigger, or in this case for this matter, as you can see, that I've managed to able to use myself my acorn mushroom, so just in case I can able to get into this level with an easier time with. So even then though, not much else to really much to say about it here, so... Anyways though, let's go ahead and deal with Boom Boom for the 3rd time, which all he does jumps higher, so you know expect at this point. See, for then though, yeah. Another thing I want to point out right away is the fact that, speaking of which, that by the forms of the several Let's Play plannings, by the forms of the future Let's Plays, and especially notable with the forms of the redo Let's Plays as well, unfortunately though, for those of you who are excited to be able to actually go for Super Mario Galaxy 2 redo Let's Play, unfortunately, that redo Let's Play will have to be delayed until during in January this year, or no, not January, July actually, because in July in 2019, it might be a perfect opportunity before you know, some more Nintendo Switch stuff will be on its horizon, and especially noticeable with still got plenty of time for the forms of for Piglet anyway, to be able to actually get back into Super Mario Galaxy at one point. So even then, once he's done with that, until like, let's just say before the end of May or June possibilities, well, before he gets the forms of the another redo Let's Play, but the forms of in Sonic Lost World, specifically on the Wii U version, just because, well, we just don't feel like we're doing a redo Let's Play of the 3DS version, because, my god, the 3DS version sucks. I mean, you could imagine about this particular stuff in mind, so... And also that, how the fact that, I believe, if I remember correctly, that, you know... Oh, jeez Christ. Yeah, that's as far as I can usually say about the forms of certain updates or what have you, because there's not much else I can ask for, because even then, aside from the fact that we got ourselves our, you know, ND highlights, which, you know, about time, and also, not to mention though, we've only got about a week left now, or in this case, 6 days left, for those of you ever be curious about, depends on what countries you lived in. We actually got about 6 more days to go, well, almost 6 days to go, until Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be releasing on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. But unfortunately though, that cannot be applied for by the forms of, well, usually it's gonna still comes out in the forms of next week or so naturally I'm still looking forward to it. But unfortunately though, that there might be some leaks out there, which either way though, that once again did manage to spoil the very ending portion of the game, especially noticeable with a good chunk of the forms of the actual gameplay footage that's been shown, but as a spoiler territory, which, to be honest, I will ignore that, especially because of how the fact that, well, I'm just really hoping that they keep it as a secret until when that happens, before we get the game is about to be coming out. So even then though, that, well, because, you know, I'm just getting a little bit more sick of the forms of the leaks, spoiler footages, which either way though, it's like Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, or the Nintendo 3DS I should say, especially with the forms of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate all over again, with some spoiler leaks and all that stuff, which, this is getting ridiculous, because either way, not to mention, because it actually did manage to spoil the good chunks of the gameplay experience, especially with the forms of the actual confirmed worlds is like, and especially noticeable with the forms of, not to mention the final part of the game, which again, I'm not going to spoil for this point, because obviously, I really don't want to spoil for you guys, unless if, you know, if something else will get to you, well, I'll just ignore the spoilers for the time being, because we've only got a week left until the game comes out, well, 3 to be exact for Japan version, well, around the same day as the forms of Mario Luigi Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey, which I believe that was the game I have to concentrate first, before we jump into Kingdom Hearts 3 on my own time. So even then though, that way it'll keep these stuff going. So even then though, that's all I can really say about it. So anyways, let's switch back to Luigi. He new forms within Sparkling Waters -3 Water Sprout Sprint. In this case, we have to do with a lot of water sprints all over the place, or water sprouts, I should say. So, I believe we get ourselves a penguin suit in here somewhere, which fundamentally, though, it might be true, and screw you, Goombrat. Jeez. But that's okay, though, because I'm presuming there might be a red shell in here, so let's go ahead and toss that. And, oh, we didn't toss the star coin with it. Hold on a minute. There we go. Because one thing I found is kind of enthusiastic about it is the fact that in the original New Super Luigi U Let's Play that definitely has still managed to completely done with ever since the new forms of like almost 3 years ago. Well, at least to be more specifically in 2 years for now. That he did manage to able to actually not only kill the piranha plant with the red shell, but also he did manage to catch the forms of, or in this case, just manage to, you know, obtain the star coin itself as well. So, oh, screw it. Screw it. Screw it. Oh, wow. That was really close. Because either way, though, I just did not even notice I was going to die for this point there. But, at least I still lived. So, yeah, again, there's not much else I can really say about that, but then I might be very curious until tomorrow, when the ND highlights has been showcased by the forms of during tomorrow. In the forms of, like, I'm presuming the time specifically, though, is the forms of 2 PM. So even then, I was expecting that to see how the ND games were able to showcase off with it, and just want to see how it actually turns out. So, but again, I don't know exactly for sure what the actual ND game stuff they actually get a showcase for, but I'll find out and see what happens during tomorrow. So, anyways, though, let's switch over now to Yellow Toad in the forms of the secret level in Sparkling Waters, which once again we're going to be going on to the Beanstalk, but this time we're exploring the Beanstalk inside the jungle. So, could it be possible if how the fact that Tarzan might be in here? Well, not naturally speaking though, but I digress. And of course, we cannot even begin with this level without any sort of Lakitus introduced once again. So even then though, I'm assuming these are the exact same Lakitus actually, but in forms of the Blooming Lakitus level ever since in the new Super Mario Bros. U games. Even then though, because obviously they now managed to toss in those piranha eggs. Well, usually, I can't remember what these things are called, but either way though, I'm also able to research on that on my own time actually, just in case what the actual names of those items are known for, but even then I will wait and see what happens there. So yeah, there's not much else, you know, just to say about it. So even then, yeah, that's as far as I can say. So, and I believe in this level actually features Yoshi. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and grab that star coin quickly. And we cannot even go into that pipe over there. Just go on the red pipe over there, because there might be some, not only by the forms of some extra lives or what have you, hidden by the forms of those hidden blocks, and same applies for the other 2 blocks as well, but also the third and the final star coin. So, yeah, at least I managed to able to got some extra lives for Yellow Toad, or Blue Toad if you want to be more precise, or just generally calls it Toad in general, because either way though, it'll be no longer call it separate colored toad names anymore, like Yellow Toad or Blue Toad. So naturally it's basically a combination of the two with 2 alternate colors. So, and then that way you can able to actually get to the shortcuts to the forms of World 6, which, if you guys can clearly tell, is Rock Candy Mines. So, yeah, there's nothing else to be said around here. So, while able to actually skipping the entire portion of the Soda Jungle entirely. So, in fact, one thing I forgot to mention about this actually is the fact that back in our New Super Mario Bros. U playthrough on the New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe currently at the moment, is the fact that I accidentally managed to come across into a Soda Jungle level without even like realizing it, about the fact that after completing Sparkling Waters World, and I soon to able to discover that I accidentally triggered by the forms of the first ever level in Soda Jungle. So I do apologize for that specific point there, and I promise you guys I'm probably not going to do it again on this particular mode this time, because I'm pretty sure that in the forms of in comparison to the forms of the original New Super Mario Bros. U Let's Play, and especially noticeable with New Super Luigi U as well, we managed to able to actually done the first ever level in Soda Jungle within a separate part or something. So that could be a little bit of a wager here. So, Anyway, so let's move on to the forms of Sparkling Waters -4, and this level is actually called the Great Kaisers, which basically, as far as this level applies, hey, we got a penguin suit. For the first time, that Toadette is actually going to be wearing one, so let's see if... Aw, you stupid cheap. I hate these. At least I'm hoping I don't die by these things. Oh god, I'm really gonna die by these guys, aren't I? Well, it doesn't really help about the fact that the third and the final star coin was actually right down there, but I'm guessing the game requires me to able to only use the penguin suit to make it easier, but unfortunately though, due to the actual jump scares of those cheaps and stuff like that for that nature, I keep on getting myself butt kicked every once in a while, so actually, it could be possible how the fact that, well, I think I did manage to able to bring Baby Yoshi back in during the likes of the original, well, at least to be more specifically, in the original New Super Luigi mode Let's Play, on, you know, what Duffy did manage to tackle through, he did manage to able to bring over the Baby Yoshi with him, so even then though, I will practically do the same thing, so can I get a better item? Thank you. A propeller mushroom is super nice all in all, but I really haven't used the propeller mushroom as much in comparison to the forms of those superior power-ups, like for instance the flying squirrel power-up, and especially with the super crown specifically for Toadette. So anyways though, let's try this level again, and this time we'll hopefully just try to bypass it completely. I don't know if you noticed for this point folks, but I do apologize by the forms of my lack of dialogue again, just because of how the fact that, well, recently I just got myself my dry throat. So you can then note that I will fetch off my drink after this recording session is done, but then when we get to the forms of Frosted Glacier video until tomorrow, especially for the actual discussion about the forms of the ND headlines and all that stuff until tomorrow to see what games they actually going to be announcing within, I don't think there's going to be that much in comparison to the forms of the usual Nintendo Direct stuff, like for instance that you know, for third-party companies and stuff like that. And I really hate these. Oh, talk about that edition. Hold on. Hold the phone. Super Crown! Yay! Alright, that's what I'm talking about. So anyways, let's go ahead and get that second star coin. And I'm also able to actually just to say right now, when it comes to keeping that power up, I'll just go ahead and just screw it, because obviously I'm also able to take the invincibility frames and then just, you know, swim bypass those cheaps, or in this case just piranha plants in general, and the level should be good to go. So there we go. It only took me 2 attempts on that part, but even then though, that's only because those cheaps did catch me off guard, even by the forms of the actual pattern. And as far as I can tell, by the forms of the original New Super Luigi Let's Play with our channel anyway, that Daffy Duck did manage to stumble across too many deaths on this world for some reason, but I'm guessing because of how the fact that, well, it takes a bit of a lot of practice when it comes to like getting used to with New Super Luigi use physics and what have you. Actually, I realized about something. We actually totally forgot one thing alone about this video, and that will have to be catching a Nabbit in the forms of Layer Cake Desert, which I can assuming that only happens whenever I once again manage to able to actually did this off screen and able to actually complete one level in Layer Cake Desert, which is obviously Layer Cake Desert 3. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do with that. So anyways, let's go and get this thing to it. And once again, we're going to be using Toadette on this particular Nabbit chase sequence right there, so... But again, it makes it a little bit trickier this time around because of, you know, the shorter lengthy levels and all that stuff, and also the hazards themselves are a little bit more tricky to avoid. But even then, no, it's not that much of a problem, I don't think. So, anyways, let's get ourselves the next PA coin, so that way we can able to use that wisely. So, yeah, everything else will be come together, and, yeah. Another thing is one of pointing out right away, for those of you who might as well be interested with this, is the fact that, speaking of such, for Nintendo anyway, they decided to able to announce not only one, but 2 of those North American opening tournaments or something like that, which consist of Splatoon 2, and especially noticeable for the most recent Nintendo Switch game ever since about a month ago at this rate, which is of course Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So even then though, it might actually take place in the forms of, let's just say, in European countries as well, and also by the forms, as I said this before, North America. So even then though, that might be a little bit more interesting to say the least, so that we actually have ourselves 2 games with the forms of in each separate tournaments and stuff like that, which is pretty cool actually, but either way, yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and deal with this level right there, which by the forms of it though, I believe this level's called Dragon Eel Depths, which even then though, that again, I'm going to be switching to Nabbit on this level though, but again, he's incredibly game-breaking on this level specifically, because if you get hit by the urchins, as you can see right there, you can actually get yourselves a ton of invincibility frames, which even then, if you get hit by those origins, then obviously you would end off the level as usual, even with the forms of the star coins, but even then though, yeah. And also you need to worry about the Dragon Eel for those of you ever play as Luigi, or Toad, or even Toadette, but not so much for Nabbit though. Alright, so that's it for that level done, but of course I will be back for this level off screen on my own time. See, for then though, because of that though, I just like these blue spaces more than the purple spaces fundamentally, so... Anyways though, let's switch back to Luigi once again, and able to tackle through the last level in Sparkling Waters, and that will have to be Larry's, Trigger Happy, Castle. So even then though, we just might actually come across into a few, trigger surprises, like stuff like the Bonsai Bill especially. And as far as I remember correctly, that I believe Daffy did have his hard time on this level for some reason back in during the likes of in 2016. It's most likely because of the star coin requirements, because, well, the first one wasn't too bad, but the third and final one was actually a little bit more tougher than you think, just because, well, obviously, first of all, let's go ahead and get ourselves the second star coin first. In fact, the matter is though, you can either just use the torpedo tets to able to do it, or you can able to actually activate the P switch, and then that way you can able to transform those blocks into coins, so you can do that as well. So even then though, let's go ahead and avoid those red torpedo tets, because even then though, they're really trying to directly home in on you. But either way, that's not too bad for the second star coin. But it doesn't even compare to the forms of the third and final star coin, because we have to run away by that King Bill. So even then though, that we need to perform successful amounts of triple jumps, but if you mess up at least once or twice, then you would able to get instant death. Well, I won't say instant death by that, but in the forms of like getting hit several times by the forms of the actual King Bill. So... yeah, you just have to stay sharp, and plus you can take your time if you wanted to, but either way though, it's just that it might be a little bit tricky for first time players out there. Well, unless if you're able to actually use Toadette / P-Jet, mind you, but that's a completely different story. Alright, so here we go with Larry Cooper. Just like last time, that he's pathetically easy, but aside from able to actually using those water sprouts, so that way you can able to actually deal with him in the actual arena. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump from wall jumping and all that stuff, and we'll go ahead and just... oh, so close! But I've managed to get him anyway, so there goes Larry Cooper. And I believe this will be a final time we'll be seeing him for the entirety of our YouTube channel at this rate. Well, until when we get to Mario Kart 8, for that specific Let's Play alone. Some things I want to point things out right away. In fact, the matter is though, is that we've almost nearly towards the Maxi Toys 8th year celebration anniversary. So even then they're expecting until next month, then who knows what it could be. Well, we'll never know until whenever it gets to next month and onwards. Well, at least to be more specifically next month, to be more specifically. So there we go, Sparkling Waters has been fully completed, and once again we've got all of these star coins in combined. And we'll go ahead and turn back, and we're not going to go back into that world for quite some time. Well, at least if I manage to replay those two levels, which are Sparkling Waters-1 and Sparkling Waters-5 on my own time, for able to actually get those blue spaces rather than purple spaces for the whole entire time. So let's just head back and just explore Frosted Glacier, but I'll save that for the next video. See you then though. Join me next time on Let's Play New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe in the New Super Luigi U playthrough, is the fact that we are about to be exploring through Frosted Glacier. So, apart from the fact that today we might actually get snow, but even then though, who knows, we're able to find out and enjoy that at some point. So yeah, see you guys next time. Later, fellas.